Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you are doing good. So I'm back with another Laravel plus Vue tutorial, and today I'll be showing you how you can create list in your Vue. So let's get started with today's video. So that's the form I'm working in this series, and let me show you database as well. So here you can see I'm using contact table which having same fields: name, email, phone and message. Now let me show you code. So here you can see example component which is having our form code. So now let me show you routes. So let's go to routes folder and index.js. Basically router folder we are having here. So now we will be creating a new route for our list. So in list I'll be showing you same form fields: name, email, phone and message. So now let's create another. So path will be, let's say, contact list, and component or name, let's say contact component, and also import that. So right now we have not created this component, we will be creating it. So for that I'll be creating a separate folder views, and inside that I'll be creating it. So now let's create a new component inside view folder, right? Give name, let's say contact component. Now let me just rename it. I wanted contact list. So contact list component, and also in index.js change it to contact list component. Also change in routes. So now next let's start by creating a basic template. So I'm just going to copy from example component only because I'm just going to keep same layout. So template I have copied. After that script. So now let's change heading. So firstly from div let's convert to h1, and then heading let's say contact list, and also in class now let's add one more text center. So after this let's start by creating table. So write table. After that t head. So now let's give class. So write table bordered. These are bootstrap classes. You can go to website of bootstrap and check their class. Let's say table primary, and inside that write table heading. So here it will be like name, email, phone, message, all those things, and one more for actions, and enclose all these heading in a row, that is tr. Now let's move to body, t body. Inside t body I'm just going to define one sample row here and pass so sample as a data. And now let's also add padding. So now let's go and check in browser. So here you can see our sample table is ready. So now our template is ready for table, but how we are going to fetch data? So script is pending. So now let's move to script part. So here let's write first export default, and inside that I'll be defining one data, and inside data I'm just going to return one variable is just a list. So here right now I'm just going to define contact list as an array, and after that methods that will be used to fetch our list from API. So here in methods let's write function name, let's say get contact list. So now here understand the flow. You have created a method, but how this method would be called? So for that we will be using mounted here. So mounted will be called when your component is added to the DOM, then this function will be called. So here inside this I will be passing this dot get contact list. So now let me console in method, let's say method called, and now let me show you in browser. So now let's refresh, and here you can see in console method called. So you can also go with created if you want to. So here let me show you the difference between created and mounted. So now let's call the same function in created as well. Let me just console here also. So write console.log. In created I'm just going to pass created, and in mounted I'm going to just pass mounted. So this one is just to show that how created and mounted will be called. So now let's just refresh. This one is previously. So here you can see firstly created will be called, and method called is using created, then second mounted, and second using mounted method is called. So now let's just remove created. I just want one mounted here. So now we need Axios here to call the API and to get the data from there. So now let's write inside the get contact method. So write Axios, and it will be get request. So inside get, first one will be URL. So it will be HTTP localhost. and port is 3001, and after that API, and now let's say contact list. So now let's handle the API response. For that I'll be using then and catch. So in then we will be getting result. So now let's console result right now as of now, and in catch we will be getting error. So now let's console error also. So here one thing that we need to optimize here is the URL, because every API we will not be writing like HTTP localhost, because if you will push that to server there will be different env file and that will be having a different IP or server. So here that we will be defining in env. So here you can see vite pusher port and vite pusher host. So here we will be defining pusher host as localhost and our port is 3001. So now one more addition constant here I'll be adding is vite pusher API prefix. So now let's change here URL. So for that let's import all the constants. So firstly let's import host. So import host from import.meta.env.vite pusher host we will be using. Then second we will be importing that is port. So change similar const as port. Third we will be using that is API one that we have created new. So now let's change URL. So firstly till localhost let's write host, then port and then API. So in between host and port I need to add colon, because before port colon will be there, and after port and API there will be slash, and after API also there will be slash. So now let's check in browser. So here you can see Axios related. Okay, it will be small a, and remove curly bracket as well. Also change here, it's a small a, Axios. So now let's refresh, and here you can see one error that is contact list. So here you can see root is not found, because I have just created front end to show you in this video. In my next video I'll show you API how to create and fetch list data and send as a response, then we will display in view. So that's all in this video. In this video I have shown you how to create a list and how to send a get request using Axios. So in my next video, as I have already told you, I will be fetching data from Laravel site and sending as a response. Then we will display that data in our view site. That's all in this video. If you have any doubt related to this topic, then you can comment down in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel.